All right. So you have done that. So it's time to do what we call defining. And this is a very critical step because now this is the step that combines, that links research and now actual ideas, right? It's called define. And define, what you're trying to do is, in a nutshell, what you're trying to do, or in a summary, what you're trying to do at this stage is to clearly write down what is the need. What does this person that you're building for, actually need in a clear, simple manner? That's it. Because once you have that need, we call it a need statement. Once we have that, then we can start brainstorming. Okay, here we do actually three things. Here we do something we call a need statement. What does the user actually need? We do a problem statement. A problem statement articulates what the problem exactly is and what we are trying to achieve. That's a problem statement. And then we have something else we call how might we statements. How might we statements suggests how do we solve that problem? How might we help Napoleone overcome this? Or how might we help Napoleone do this, right? Just how might we statements. But I think I don't want to overwhelm you. Here we are focusing on the need statements. The problem statements, or I think I'm going to start confusing the three of them, but here you're focusing on the user's need, not your need, the user's need, the person you're building for. What is it? After doing that intensive research, after talking to people, after even coming up with a persona, what is the need? For example, if I was taken back to the 1800s, before the introduction of the modern engine and all that, after talking to people, travelers and all these people, I'd probably sit back down and be like, these users, for example, I'll create a persona to represent all these people because I want to be able to call each of them by name. I would start by saying Kathy or Jones needs a way to move from point A to point B much faster, in comfort, protected from the elements of the weather. That would be my need statement, right? What is it that they need? Am I making sense? So you have to look at that problem that you're solving, look at that data and be like, what is it that that user actually needs? What is it that they're telling you that they actually need, right? So it's time to narrow down. You've been doing a lot of research. It's time to narrow down. For example, you have this example of a classmate called Alex who is always late for class. Maybe it's a common pattern. You did your observation, and after interviewing Alex, he says, I'm always rushing because I can't find my keys in the morning. If he can't find his keys in the morning, this is what he says: I'm always rushing because I can't find my keys in the morning. This is a statement. Maybe it's one of the common statements that you found during your research. Maybe you're trying to help students come to class earlier, and you realize that almost 50% of them were saying that they're always rushing because they can't find their keys in the morning. And maybe you came up with a persona called Alex. Alex to represent the 50. They're always rushing because can't find my keys in the morning. Then it's up to you as an innovator to look at this statement as the common statement and ask yourself, what is it that Alex needs? Nobody will tell you that. It's up to you to look at it and ask yourself, what is it that they need? Well, the need statement here may look something like this. Alex then needs a way to keep track of essential keys in the morning because he wants to arrive to class on time. So do you look at that? Are you looking at that need statement that Alex is always rushing because he can't find his keys? Then the need is that he needs a way to find his keys in the morning. He needs a way to keep track of essential things like keys in the morning. Why? So that he's never late again for class. Because every need has to have a reason. So it's very important that at the end you have a because. If he's trying to do this because, what does he want? What is his goal in life? What goal are you trying to help him achieve? For example, in this, the goal that we want to help Alex achieve is to arrive on class on time, right? So that's how your need statement needs to come. And I mean, we can even stop talking about the problem statement because that's another giant. If you can come up with a very good need statement like this for your own problem, I'm telling you that session is almost a wrap. We can even start going to the generating ideas. How my twist statement just helps try and ask you. It's like a brainstorming question because that's what you're going to use when it comes to brainstorming. When you start thinking about ideas, we use that. How can I help Alex achieve his goal of arriving to class on time without stress? That's it. So the how my twist statement just helps you ask that question. How can I help my persona called Alex keep track of essentials like keys in the morning so that he arrives to class on time? And then something very important to notice. My need statement is not suggesting a solution because you can sit back and be like, Alex needs to have a hook on the door so that he can track his keys. That's not a need statement. You're already suggesting what a solution can look like, and that is very, very wrong. If you do that, you're not going to get far. A need statement needs to be open enough to allow people to brainstorm, to allow people to think through what a potential solution could be, because you're not automatically suggesting one. So don't suggest a solution here in your need statement.